Welcome back to Let's Play SpellCraft. So in the last part, we were doing what? Oh, we killed the mine minion and progressed with the quest here. Got the level 3 words, found the Book of Witches, found the Damascene sword. But in this part, we will mix all the level 3 Ether and Mine spells. You can see I'm almost done. I'm just missing 2 aspects here. Those will be for level 4 spells, but right now we're still on level 3 spells. So again, let's start with the attack spells. I'll start with a Ether attack spell. Can't remember if we saw this one in action before yet, but Strawless. Steel Vigor, draining spell that drains a bit of the enemy's life and adds to your own. It doesn't drain enough though, so it's not very effective. But they like to cast it a lot. You see the green pixies come towards me and you hear a very low note, "Aww," and then you know you've been drained. But it doesn't deal much damage, so it's not that useful. This one we've seen before. Agony. It looks like a boil blood. The red ball comes towards you, but the sound effect is different, and you just sit there and writhe in pain. You don't turn red like the boil blood does. That one's okay useful. The damage is alright. The agony is always good, but it is a mind spell, so it's a little bit costly to cast. But it's okay. It doesn't come on a totem. I guess that's the problem. This one is Command Foe, a charming spell. Basically, you can take control of one of the enemy monsters for a short time. Which means usually you take one that's surrounded and it will die because things around it will just start whacking it to death. Onto some defense spells. Lots of defense spells actually, from Ether and Mind. First one, I'm going in order with the spellbook, so not going Ether than Mind. First one from the Mind domain is Immobilize. Basically what it says. Stops you from moving, stops you from acting. You would think it's useful, but if you use it against enemy wizards, they tend to teleport right at the last minute, which is really annoying. That's why I prefer Boil Blood to immobilize people than Immobilize. Next off we have some web spells. Can't quite understand why the human fingertip is an aspect of honey dreams. But anyways, this is the Ether web, a Vapour web, and its partner here is the Mind web. Exactly the same ingredients and aspect, but use the level 3 Mind word. And you've got the Mental web. So this one actually traps the illusions, the ghosts. Whereas all the other webs, the ghosts will fly right through them unaffected. That makes the Mind web and the Mind wall coming up the most useful, because it blocks everything, not just the walkers. Here we have the Confuse spell. I'm not sure why it's a defense spell, but basically it makes the monster stop following you, and they don't know what's going on or where to go. In general, they don't turn and attack their friends like what happens in most other games. That would have been more interesting, but it doesn't happen. There's the Mental Wall, the pink wall that can be used to wall off the illusions, stop them from following you. We've seen that one in the Mind domain when we were fighting the Mind minion. pink wall. Okay, onwards to some personal modification spells, and this is that really annoying one. Aspect of the Gateway. You can probably guess what it is. Gateway meaning a portal, which means teleport. The one that I hate the most. When they use it, it's really effective. When I use it, it doesn't really make any difference at all. It allows you to jump from one part of the map to another, but you have to have the foresight to see where you would want to go, because it takes time for the pixies to get to that part of the screen. Next we have Energize. Temporarily boost of life and attack power. Then you can use that time to cast as many spells as you want. Actually, that spell is essential to completing the game, because you need the attack power boost to kill one wizard. Next we have a really useless spell. Totally useless. It's called Remove Agony. If you are writhing in pain, you can remove Agony. But you can't cast it on yourself. You can only cast it on your summoned creatures. So why would you want to save them? You only want to save yourself. And you can't cast it while you're agonized. So why bother? This next spell is really annoying. It is called Fly Swat. Basically, if you are in magic wings, you can knock them down. So when I'm using magic wings, and the enemy wizard will cast it on me, and I will fall to my doom in a chasm or lava or whatever. But if I cast it on them, they will immediately magic wings themselves right away, right again. They will not fall in chasms, they will not swim in water or lava. So it's basically a spell that only the computer can use effectively on you. It doesn't really work the other way around. This one is a useful spell, Psychoimmune. It's a... Now this is what I call a defense spell. Oh well. It blocks a lot of the mind and other attack spells that come your way. So all the mind attacks and explosions and agonies, if I see them coming, I can throw this up, and then the spell will be absorbed by this Psychoimmune spell. Very useful, especially when you're attacking those demons, because that's just about all they cast. Okay, onward to some terrain spells. The only two terrain modifiers from the mind domain. The first one is Speed Time. It makes all your spell pixies move faster towards their target location. And its opposite, of course, is Slow Time, which makes all the enemy spells and pixies move slower. And it's quite noticeable too, so it's quite effective. Very nice thing to cast right away when you engage a wizard. Speed your own spells up, slow his spells down. Make all the difference in the world. Alright, turning the page, we have some transformation spells. Both from the mind domain. This one is actually quite effective. I don't use it that much. But it is Banish. Basically gets rid of a monster, and I think it's permanent. Just gets rid of him and he's gone. It says in the spell description that the guy could come back, but I've never seen the monster come back before. So it's a permanent removal spell. Kind of like the other transforms, where they just transform into something else and they're gone. Which is a lot more useful than the one coming up here. Can't remember if I saw this one yet. This one is Turn to Toad, which turns one monster into a frog, or a wizard into a frog for a short time. And during that time they can't do anything, so they just sit there. It's not that useful because they turn back anyways, so it's kind of like Rockbound. A temporary immobilization spell. Doesn't do any harm, but doesn't do much good either. So I'm just going to go through and show you all the new spells and their icons. And I suppose that will be it for this part. So in the next part we will go to Terra and see what changes await us there.